Hi everyone, this is meowmurai, and let's continue our game of Loretta running on Nintendo Switch. On my way home, I got to thinking, maybe I just made a mistake. The man on the other end of that wire couldn't have been anyone. An old friend, a comrade in arms, or some other failed rider. It was amazing how, after Walter's death, I was starting to learn so much about him. Way more than I knew of him when he was still alive. Things that were obviously private. Things he didn't want to share with his own wife. And then suddenly... the engine overheated. Goddamn bucket of bolts. Lord. What'd I do to deserve this? Who am I kidding? You know perfectly well, Loretta. So I walked. Good thing the house was only half a mile away. I noticed the luxurious white car right away, parked by my front porch. I'd never seen a car quite like it. Some old man with a cane was standing next to it, and something deep in my gut told me nothing good was going to come from this meeting. Can I help you?
Go call out your husband, sweetheart. I'd like to speak to the proper owner.
I'm the proper owner.
Well, that explains it. What are you needing all this land for, anyway?
Who are you exactly?
Name's Peter Solomon Morgan, Jr. But y'all can call me Mr. Morgan. I own the land down southeast of here, which means I have the misfortune of being your neighbor.
What's that supposed to mean?
Come take a look. See this? The whole lot's rotten. Ain't even worth feeding to the livestock.
Thank you kindly for showing me some dirt, but I fail to see how this has anything to do with me.
Fail to see, do ya?
Morgan's old face turns purple with anger.
50 acres of fertile land, reduced to nothing but horseshit.
My sincere congratulations. So what? And that has to do with me?
I hired a specialist. Through his investigating, he concluded that drainage installed on your property is wrecking my crops. I was looking to have a conversation with the real property owner. You know, resolve the issue peaceful-like. I guess that just ain't on the cards.
Let's calm down here. Now let's calm down for a minute. I don't know much about farming. Hell, I don't even know what you mean by drainage. I just ran out the land.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, maybe you should talk to the ones who've been working your land.
Who do you think told me what's been going on? You think I'm out there running in the fields like I got ants in my pants? I'll be speaking to my lawyers about this. You can understand that much, can't you? I came over here to meet the owner face to face. You know, talk it through, man to man. Never did occur to me I'd be dealing with some dumb broad instead.
Pull your head out of your ass. The bank owns this land.
Best quit jerking me around, lady. Listen hard, you goddamn Okie.
Let go of me, you asshole.
If Phillips or something else is paying you to pull this shit, or this is your own harebrained attempt at sabotage, Lord help me. I'll drag your ass through the muck myself if I have to. You hear me?
Fuck off, pig. What's going on here?
Howdy, Bill.
You doing all right there, Mrs. Harris? Yeah. Mr. Morgan was just leaving. Mr. Morgan huffs and haws.
Yeah, I'm going, but this ain't over. I'll be seeing you in court, Mrs. Harris.
Whatever, you old fart. Your hand okay? Well, I saw your car out there on the road. Figured I'd come see if everything's okay. What was old Bill wanting? Wish I knew, Sheriff. Wish I knew. Morgan's grip was surprisingly strong for an old man and left a bruise. The sheriff made himself scarce before long. He came asking the same questions, but he had them written down in a notebook this time, and didn't reek of booze. Still, I don't think he suspects me. He seems more focused on Walter's past.
Well, he's an ornery one.
That old donkey, I'll say, ought to learn to keep his hands to himself. Got any news on Walter, Sheriff?
Actually, yes. I was talking to New York and found out something rather strange. Tell me. You ever heard of an Irving Wallace?
Nope, doesn't ring any bells.
Well, it sounds like Walter and Irving did time together.
Walter did time? No way.
That's what I thought.
But when? Why?
In the early 20s, but I don't know why. There ain't much left from the pre-war archives. Walter obviously used this to his benefit and kept his little vacation a secret.
This is more than just a secret.
Don't get me wrong, ma'am. Everyone makes mistakes. As far as I can tell, Walter was a dignified man. Wish I could say the same about that Wallace character, though.
Who is he?
He made a killing during the Prohibition, but his fortune wasn't big enough to attract unnecessary attention. Then he got his business legalized and went into publishing. Even bought a stake in a local newspaper. Either way, he's bad news. But no charges have been brought against him yet. Strange thing is, well, my guess is Walter and Irving have stayed in touch to this day. I don't mean to scare you, ma'am, but Wallace might be connected to your husband's disappearance. What's in the box, by the way?
More junk from New York. Mail just arrived.
Thought it might be from Walter. Anyway, ma'am, I'll keep you informed. Let me know if anything happens in the meantime.
Like what, Sheriff?
People like Wallace are extremely dangerous. So I'd like to ask you to stay vigilant till we figure this all out. Do take care now.
What have you been up to, Walt? I must admit, Morgan's visit came as something of a surprise. I had no idea what the old man wanted with me. Walter was the one who handled the land, not me. Any knowledge I might have had was extremely vague. I could probably figure it out if I really put my mind to it. But on the other hand, who the hell cares? I'll be long gone the minute I get that check. I'll never have to see this house, this land, or Morgan ever again. I wasn't sure what to do next.
Oh, where's my cursor? Oh, there it is. Whoa, okay. Let's ask about the property boundary. Yeah, the interface is super interesting. Like, all the choices are different buttons. And it's never really like the same style every single time. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an art house game. So, Mrs. Harris, what can I help you with?
I'm just looking to learn about the extent of my property, and where the border between my land and Mr. Morgan lies.
Alrighty, if you'll kindly take a look right here. This is your property. This is the property that, as I understand it, belongs to the bank.
It's all ours?
If the paperwork's anything to go by, then yes. Now, here's where your property ends, and Mr. Morgan's begins. As well as here. Here, here, and here. I'll need another set of plans to...
I get the idea. So, Mr. Morgan's rolling in money.
You could say that. Don't tell me you're all are at odds about something.
Well,
Mrs. Harris, you'd be better off giving him what he wants. You know, bargain a little, for decency's sake. But come to an agreement nonetheless. Believe me, it's pointless going to court with people like him.
I appreciate the advice.
My pleasure.
Oh, can I ask one last thing? Is it possible there may be some drainage from my property that leads to Morgan's? which in some way unknown to me might be affecting his crops?
That's hard to tell, Mrs. Harris. It'll depend on the history of the site. What was standing there before? Groundwater lines, previous owners and such? I can try and look it up for you if you like. The records must be in the archive somewhere.
So long as it ain't any trouble.
Not at all, ma'am. It's my job. Just leave me a telephone number, and I'll get in touch as soon as I find anything.
I didn't think it really mattered at first, but at night, for some reason, I started to feel like something around me had changed. It was small, almost invisible. I began to wander through that run-down old house, finding my way into corners I didn't even know existed. And then, Kelly arrived. I forgot to mention, Walter had a daughter from his previous marriage, Kelly. As she'd promised in her letter, Kelly came with her boyfriend, Mickey. Now, I'd only met Kelly a couple of times. First time was when she was still a little girl. She was living with her mama somewhere in New Jersey. But then her mama succumbed to skeletal tuberculosis and passed away. Got no idea where Kelly found that joker Mikey. It was easy to tell just from a glance, and he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Now, Kelly was a fine enough girl, pretty as a peach. She had thick brown hair, big old doe eyes, a healthy tan, big hips, and a nice behind. Imagine the vulgarity of Mae West in a play by Karl Heinrich Ulrich. Mickey is actually short for Michelangelo. He's some Italian kid from Jersey. At just 23, or maybe 24 years old, he was big enough to fill a doorway. And I mean, he was huge. Black hair all shiny with either grease or brilliantine. Muscles bulging under his copper skin. I had no idea what he did for a living. I think maybe he served in the Navy before getting kicked out. Either way, it didn't seem like things were going well for either of them. Like any young girl whose daddy walks out on the family, I think it's safe to assume Kelly despised her father. So why would a girl abandoned by her daddy drag her boyfriend across the country to see him? Folks on the outside looking in just wouldn't understand. But I did. Oh, I knew right from the start. Where's Daddy? Since they were too tired from the road, I was able to stall them with a dumb lie. At that point, all they wanted was to bathe and get some sleep. So I used the time to get my story straight. Your father has abandoned me too, hon. Gathered his belongings and took off like the wind. The plan was to appeal to the sympathy of a fellow woman, by drawing comparisons to Kelly's mother and squeezing any drop of sentimentality out of her that I could. But I knew it was never going to work. To Kelly, I'll always be the bitch who ruined her parents' marriage. Heck, she probably blames me for her mother's passing. And I can't really fault her for that. I put them up in the guest room, in the room that Douglas Harris had once used separately from his wife. His granddaughter now slept with Mickey. Now that they were actually sleeping, out in the hallway in the stillness of the night, I could hear Kelly breathing, along with her not so muffled sighs, the creaking of old floorboards and iron bed springs, that long forgotten the warmth of human bodies, bouncing to the beat of Mickey's bestial momentum. Truth be told, I felt myself blushing something awful, until finally it all quieted down, and I tried to get some sleep. Oh, what is it? Brains? That's another puzzle piece. Oh, it's a bottle.
Mirror reflection? I'm glad I actually don't have to put this together. I just have to click on these things 3 times. What is that? Is that a rat? I think it's a rat. The rat poison? Ah, good lord. Walter. Hi, honey. You look so good. I don't blame you, given the circumstances. Ah, don't give me that face, please. Listen, I need the combination for the safe, Walter. Say something. Come on, normally I can't get you to shut up. I mean, I couldn't. I wanted to tell you so much, you know. About what was tormenting me, burning me up on the inside. Now that you're finally quiet enough to listen, I don't know what to say. Kelly's here. Her boyfriend's pretty lousy in my opinion. Just some loser. And a dumb one at that. But that's just my first impression. We know how deceiving those can be. You forgot. Look. There. In the basement. What do you mean? Walt? Nausea. Jean-Paul Sartre. Falling asleep has been a struggle recently, so I've been taking to reading Walter's books. Don't matter which. They all send me to sleep right away. It's raining again. Move away from the door. It's a puddle. A puddle. Looks like the roof's leaking. What the hell was that? What was it, like 10:05 or 10:10 or something like that? Looks like the clock stopped. Wait, do I want to go up? Can't sleep. Me neither. What is that? A fuse. What's it lying in the sink for? Hope it didn't get wet. I'm assuming I need to go to the basement, but... it ain't right. Oh, where the hell am I now? Apparently the lever moves the elevator, but it hasn't got any power. Got a fuse box. Which one's my inventory? L. I have a fuse. Why can't I use it? little confused. Why can't I use it?
It's raining pitchforks. Now I'm wearing a nightie.
Alright, we're not going outside. I can go upstairs.
I'm not going anywhere.
Dining room. $380. I guess I need the number 380.
One more. That'll do it.
Oh, this house is confusing. Seems a little hot in there, huh?
I'll be damned.
Is the game stuck? Is it broken? Is this on purpose? Oh, there I am. Can't even see me on screen. Good evening, ma'am.
Evening.
Are you alone?
We all are. What's going on in there?
Private soiree. Invitation only. May I see yours?
I don't have an invitation.
That's quite all right, miss. I think someone is expecting you.
Expecting me? Who could that be?
Why don't you come in and find out?
Sounds tempting. But I don't think my dress suits the occasion.
Come now, you look gorgeous, if I might be so bold. A cigarette, miss?
It's Mrs., actually. And I quit a few years back. Who am I kidding? That don't matter now. Just so you know, I'm aware that I'm dreaming.
Whatever you say.
Got a light?
Loretta draws deeply on the cigarette.
Forgot how much I enjoyed that.
One shouldn't deny themselves pleasure.
Don't disagree with you there. It's pretty nice here. I'm getting a strange feeling. Like I've been here before.
Of course, ma'am. We only serve those with memberships here. If you don't mind me asking, what will you do about the girl and the degenerate?
Beg your pardon?
What has started should be finished, Loretta.
If you were me, what would you do?
I'm afraid I'm not you, madame. Each man is the architect of his own fate. But I am deeply convinced that you know what needs to be done.
Of course I do. Is anyone going to pick up the phone?
I believe it is for you.
Hello? What in the... Oh. This can't be happening. The wine bottle fell off the table. Its contents spread and seeped into the cracks of the floorboards like blood. I recognize this tune. I've heard it somewhere before. Obituary? Vivian O'Hara was an ornithologist who dedicated her life to the study of beautiful creatures, returning from an expedition to the island of Mauritius. Miss O'Hara tragically died in a car accident at the age of 40. The science community grieves and expresses their condolences to the relatives of the deceased. Scientists recognize not only Mrs. O'Hara's deep contribution to the development of ornithology, but appreciate her work as an experienced and talented educator and a wonderful writer. Mrs. O'Hara has written over 150 articles, books, monographs, and other publications. The funeral service is scheduled to take place. The light switch. It doesn't work. Shh. Honey, it's alright. Calm down. Here you go.
Oh boy, the performance is tanking. Maybe they could have thought of a better way to do this. You know, maybe bigger chunks. I mean, these are like really tiny pieces. What's this even supposed to be? I can barely make out anything. Oh, it's a rat. In the baby crib?
All memory is selective. We only remember what we want to.
Oh, did she poison the baby? I'm assuming the rat represents rat poison. Now, what are these two going to do? What are my plans for them? I don't really need to knock them out, but I guess that's maybe what is implied.
The next morning, I remember grinding meat. Walter, who'd never lift a finger, would do anything to help me around the house. Mr. Lazy himself, by some divine coincidence, had sharpened the kitchen knives. Kelly yawns. Good morning, Lo. Morning, Kelly. Why the long face? Mikey and I had a fight is all. What smells so good? I'm making some mincemeat. Gonna fix us some dumplings. Oh, that'll hit the spot. Daddy always raves about your cooking. Can I help with anything? Nah, I'm almost done. Fair enough. I'll just make a mess of it anyway. Got any coffee? God, I'd die for a good cup of joe. Best I can offer is chicory root. There's chicken root in the basement if you want. Chicken what? I think I'll pass. Thanks anyway. Suit yourself. Where's Mick? Oh, he's out in the backyard, trying to fix our car. So he is. Must be sweating up a storm, the poor thing. Oh, but don't worry about him. He knows his way around a car. A regular grease monkey. Yeah, I got no idea how much I hate that car. Yeah, he certainly fixed you up real good last night, didn't he? I probably shouldn't, That's a little weird. Although they weren't quiet about it. That's weird. What's weird? Daddy left the car behind. How'd he get out of here in the first place then? Loretta, where did he go? I don't know, girl. What do you mean you don't know? Does he do this often? Disappear, I mean? The grinder crunches through a meat vein. Did you know your father's been seeing another woman? No, I didn't. Oh, I can't say I'm surprised, neither. Don't forget he left his first family, too. And he had a child. He had me. The meat squeaks and squelches in the grinder. Well, anyway. Listen, Lo, I've been meaning to ask. You used to work as a hairdresser, right? Don't suppose you could cut mine. That's what you want. Sure thing, Kelly. I'll give you a good cut. Things getting serious between you and Mikey. So what was it you want to discuss with your father? Things getting serious between you and Mikey? I think so, yeah. I mean, he's great. And in bed. Have you seen him? He's a living Adonis in the flesh. I never had it so good with anyone else. Just thinking about his biceps turns me on. Does it mean you're getting hitched? Yes. Well, I don't know. That's something else I want to discuss with Daddy. What does Mikey do for a living? Oh, Mikey isn't much of a working man. The road's what he's after. He doesn't do so well with enclosed spaces. Like he can't sit still or something. So he's unemployed? Oh, no. Well, actually, yeah. But he wants to be a racer. A bike racer, specifically. And what do you want? Me? I just want everything to go right for a change. These past few years have been tough, Looking after my mother was hard. Now I'm gonna have a baby. Then I felt sick. Sick from the thoughts that'd been spinning in my head all this time. And all the things I'd done. Or came close to doing. Kelly's gonna have a baby. Ignoring the fact that she and Mikey are basically children themselves. They had their whole lives ahead of them. But for me, my die was cast the moment I stopped at that damn gas station. I'd already been considering that if I were able to sell the novel to Schaefer and leave town, then maybe Kelly and Mikey could move in here. Maybe they'd be able to find a happiness here that Walter and I never could. You were right. We're almost done. And not even 15 minutes have gone by. How nice. I love it. Well, hands off remember what they've done. Were you expecting anybody? I wasn't. Maybe it's Daddy. Wait a minute.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. What's going on?
Milk delivery, ma'am.
This must be some mistake.
No, that's impossible.
Oh, we didn't get milk delivered here. But we don't get milk delivered here. You disappointed us, Loretta. Excuse me? You had such a promising start, only to let yourself balk to petty cowardice right at the finish line. I don't understand. Oh, but you do understand. You've done so much work, told so many lies. All for what? I ain't a murderer. I think Walter might have been a thing or two. I think Walter might have a thing or two to say about that. All right, Lo, time is running out, so listen carefully. Margaret will be here soon. Get rid of her. Pull yourself together, Loretta. This is your last chance. Got it? Make sure Margaret forgets how to get here. For good. Otherwise, the consequences will be irreversible. But I don't know the combination. Yes, you do. Think. When did it all start for Walter and end for you? Remember what happened in New York?
Well, ma'am, it looks like I've got the wrong address. Sorry about that. Hope you have a great day.
Hey, Laura, who was it?
Loretta, are you okay? Mrs. Harris?
Yes, I'm fine. Just a little dizzy. Laura.
This game is absolutely great. I can't believe I sat on it for so long. That stupid game of... What did we play to substitute this one? I can't remember. Whatever it wasn't as good as this. Oh, Harold Halibut. Yeah. Well, I wish I could erase that game from my from my timeline. I mean, compared to this, Harold Halibut is nothing. It's like such a finely told narrative.
Walter's popularity waned after the war ended and people stopped buying his books. One of the stories did get turned into a screenplay starring Rita Hayworth, but that was more an exception than a rule. Walter did his best to put on a brave face, but there's no denying it bruised his ego. They didn't even put his name in the end credits. We'll put a down payment on a luxury rental apartment on 12th Avenue. Walter was, well, not a communist, that's for sure, but he was at least a socialist in his beliefs. Not that I can really tell the difference, mind. It was pretty fashionable among writers and artists back then. As the daughter of a hard-working miner who died in the mine just the day before it was closed, I can't say I shared in his leftist ideals. Don't mean I think that the Jews, Bolsheviks, and that Stalin fella pose any threat to the American way of life, but I still consider communism to be nothing more than a fiction, fueled by intellectuals on the East Side who've hardly worked a day in their lives. We argued from time to time. Walt called me, or rather people who shared my way of thinking, you know, hypothetical people who probably exist somewhere, but basically myself personified in the purpose of his conversation. Philistines. Said the Philistines' paradise is an easily swayed construction that only needed a good rub for the blinkers to fall off. But the Philistines' paradise ain't so bad. We lived it while we were in New York, in a way. We had a cozy rental apartment with an electric toaster, an electric iron, and one of those automatic lemon squeezers. Sure, we paid for it in installments. So what? I can say one thing for sure. It was much better than being in a boring, well-fed paradise than in some crumbling old barn with no central heating. Walter may have needed to hear the rustle of wheat for his inspiration. All I ever heard was the whispers of demons.
What's up? I took her to bed. How's she looking?
She seemed all right, but I'm no doctor.
She said it's the weather. You want to head out?
Oh, I don't even know anymore. Maybe we shouldn't leave her alone, you know?
Oh, come on.
She nearly broke her damn neck, Mick.
But she didn't, did she? What else is there for us to do here?
She gave me a haircut, though.
She did? When'd you get that done?
You wouldn't even have noticed if I hadn't said anything.
Well, it's beautiful. Can we hit the road now?
Fine, let's go. There's no way to turn back now, and there never will be. It's so noisy inside my head. My thoughts are all murky. No, scattered even. I don't want to think. I want to act. But it feels like there's a glass wall in front of me, and I'm gonna break it. How could I have been so blind? December 24th, 1946. The day that divided my life into a before and after. That's the combination. The manuscript. Or a typescript, to be more precise. Straw bull. 200 pages of yellowed, strange-smelling paper. Inches of metal had been keeping me away from my destiny. And finally I held the book in my hands. It wouldn't be a work of Walt's if it didn't include some pretentious epigraph for John Milton. I don't know this poem, but it's like I said before, I don't read much. A sharp knocks on the door interrupted me from enjoying the moment. It was Margaret, right on time. I'm sorry, but I only got a chicory root. You know what? This'll do. Thanks for the milk. I hope you choke on it. Ain't it funny how nothing's changed? Excuse me? This living room, I mean. The Harris house. Your house, I suppose. Might be a little dustier than before, but that's about it. Double-crossing bitch. Walter and I were friends when we were kids, you know. We'd spent entire days here at Mrs. Harris. Before Clarence passed away? Oh, yeah, Loretta, long before that. But Clarence ended up being the best of us. I'm so proud of him. His Purple Heart and his Bronze Star. You use them to open your favorite ginger ale. Were delivered with a letter from the president. Can you imagine? I think I saw a rat out on the porch. Yeah, I ran out of poison. Margaret takes a sip of her milk. So, who's the fetching young couple you're renting to? That's Walter's daughter Kelly and her fiancé. Get out of town. I'd love to meet her. Tell them to make sure they come pay me a visit. So, Walter still hasn't shown up? Well, you don't see him here, do you? The sheriff came and spoke to me, Loretta. Bill's a good man, but I ain't told him about our situation. Not yet, anyway. He tell you that Walter did time once? I don't understand. What's not to understand? You love a Walter as an ex-con. You shouldn't go making up stories, Loretta. Guess neither of us knew him as well as we thought, huh? This ain't like him. What about his novel? The manuscript's upstairs in his safe. He left it in here? He told me they were sending him a check. What are you getting at? Is that why you decided to ruin my marriage? You ruined it yourself, Loretta. Walter's miserable around you. Don't you get it? You're the miserable one. What do you know about marriage? Now you're telling me he just up and left? Left me? Left his novel? Left his own daughter? He left her a long time ago, Margaret. You think you're the first? You ever asked what happened with Kelly's mother? Left her to rot with tuberculosis. And Walter kindly paid for the funeral. Linda drank one too many of those radium drinks, and you know that. You know why we moved there? Because he wanted to finish his book. Quit being such a fool. Walter's always been a coward. One small problem's enough. to make him turn tail and run. I don't trust you, Loretta. Then get this through that ginger scalp of yours. Let's say you're right. Let's say his filthy lying ass is currently rotting in the well out in the yard. Rats slowly picking his bones clean and all that. A fate he totally deserved, by the way. Even if that were all true, it'd be your word against mine.
This place is freezing. Is it the room spinning, or is it just me? I should have called it quits at that last vodka martini. Okay. The last 3 vodka martinis. The light's on in the bathroom. Is Loretta still up? I urgently need to take a leak. I mean, I got a key in there? Okay. What a guy, huh? Spent your whole life trudging through bullshit, just like the rest of them. But look at you now, standing in a tux, and crisp as a new dollar bill. Wish my folks could see me now. Hey, you in there? Let me in, would you? I really gotta go. Laura? Ah, for Christ's sakes. Loretta forgot to turn it off. Again. Must have been listening to one of her lousy radio plays. I really wish she'd pick up a book. Looks like Loretta had herself quite the party. What's going on through that head of hers? Sure, I didn't invite her out. Is she offended? Someone's got to stay home and look after the baby. It ain't the right state of mind to be dialing anybody. Even if I wanted to. The lines wouldn't be operating at this time of night. Oh, Walter, let's buy a toaster, Walter. Let's make breakfast like they do in France, Walter. $25. And what for? Where are my goddamn breakfasts? I'm probably gonna regret this. But Loretta ain't giving me any other options. Yeah. Oh, did he pee in the sink? Okay. I was like, what is he talking about? That's much better. The hell's calling at this time of night? Hello? Oh, it's you. Yeah, I told you I would. I'm not whispering. Because it's 2 in the morning. Because my wife. What the fuck, Frank? Why are you calling me at my house? How'd you even get the call through at all? No, I'm not drunk. Yes, I hear you. I got it. Tell Wallace I have something even better. He's gonna love it. I just need a couple more weeks. I know, Frank. But 2 weeks ain't gonna hurt anybody. That's none of your business. How would they know? No, I haven't spoken to anyone. Are you trying to scare me? Don't try me, you fat fuck. I know what I'm doing. I've got to go. Don't call me here again. I think you're so clever, huh? Well, I got other plans, Frank. Where'd I put those fucking matches? I need the number. Think, Walter, think. Bedroom. They'll be in the writing desk. I'm gonna bend you all over, bunch of greedy assholes. The key from the writing desk. The key to your secrets. A pipe. Forgot to buy tobacco again, you bozo. Pocket watch. 3:30. You're in hot water now, Walter. A wedding ring. Put it on before you get into bed with Loretta. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . That's it. One call. No Wallace, no Chambers. No more dirty work. Only literary honest to goodness literature. Only literal honest to goodness literature. Suck it, Robert Penn Warren. But there'll be no turning back. These people are dangerous. Screw it. Dangerous or not, they're going to make me rich. Dumb broad woke the baby up. You fat son of a... I told you not to call here, you Oh, honey. Sorry, I thought it was someone else. Yeah, everything's fine. I just got home. I just got home just fine. Are you okay? Can't sleep? Oh yeah? I miss you too, baby doll. What? She's not asleep, no. No, I haven't told her. I don't know. When the time is right. When the time is right, okay? Go to bed, baby. Good night. I love you too. Bye. Walter sighs. Yes, Walter is a very complicated person. Loretta, are you out of your mind? Laura, you fall asleep in there? Open the door. Do you hear me? Open the door right now. God, Loretta, what have you done?
Do be careful with the china. You're sick, Loretta. Maybe so, but I'll be sick and 30 grand richer. And then I'll be long gone. Oh, you hear that? That'll be an important call. From the publishing house, most likely. I'll be back in a moment. Should I kill the ginger bitch now? Or maybe I should just let her go. What can she really do? Running, crying to Bill? She's probably rolling around with him too. Who'd believe her? It won't be much more than a memory by the time anyone figures it out. Cuba? Tahiti? Hawaii? The world's gonna open up for you like you wouldn't believe, like you won't believe, Loretta. All you gotta do is make a choice. Aloha. I mean, hello?
Mrs. Harris, we accept the offer. One of our guys is already on his way to you. Mr. Fitzgerald. He'll be in touch when he's in town.
Marvelous.
Oh, Mrs. Harris, please accept our deepest condolences on behalf of the Atlantic Press team. We are extremely concerned and hope Mr. Harris will return soon.
When I finally hung up, Margaret was nowhere to be found. Must have gotten scared. Wish I hadn't wasted my chicory root entertaining her. Either way, I had the manuscript. All I had to do was wait for Fitzgerald. But of course, something just had to go wrong. Something I never would have expected.
Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Loretta running on Nintendo Switch. Excellent game. Or excellent narrative, I guess to say. Not really so much of a game. Definitely check it out. It's high on my list of games of the year. I think this will certainly be up there when we get to the year and the end of the year, and it's only May. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.